Hi guys, welcome to another fun craft time with Miss Sarah. So today we're going to be talking about making felt pencil toppers. Maybe something that looks like this or something that looks like this. Yay! You can have a lot of fun with this and make a lot of different shapes. So to make these, you just need a few items. You're going to need some felt. So I have just some scraps of felt here, different colors. You're going to need some glue. I'm going to be using this hot glue gun. You can use that as well, or if you have tacky glue or any type of fabric glue, you can use that as well. If you're using the hot glue like me, I recommend having a bowl of water available to you, because sometimes if you're gluing and you get that little piece of hot glue, it really hurts. So you can dip your fingers quickly into the water, peel the glue off, and it feels a lot better. So that's a trick I learned from hot gluing. I wanted to share that with you. All right, you're also going to need a good pair of scissors, and you're going to need a dark marker of some kind to help you draw your shapes, okay? And for the circle face shape of the pencil topper, I found one of these little paper cups that worked really well. This bottom worked really well for me. So if you can find something at home, if you have some of those cups, you can use that. And I mean, remember, this can be any shape that you want. I just find that the circle works the best for me. But if you have something that's maybe a square shape, that's okay too. That works also. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go ahead and gather all those materials, and I'll see you in just a moment and show you how we can put this together. All right, guys, so we're going to get started now. We're going to start with our felt. So I have this beautiful purple piece here. It's real sparkly. I don't know if you can see that on this side. I really like that. So I'm going to be using this for my circle face part. And I'm going to get my cup here and my marker. So the first thing I'm going to do is trace 2 circles onto this. All right. So you should have something that looks kind of like that. And then I'm going to take my scissors, and it's great if you have a really good sharp pair of scissors. And I'm going to hold my felt and just cut the circle the best I can. So there's one circle. And there's 2. All right, so that's going to be my basic shape. And I like to kind of look at them where you see a point where maybe the scissors kind of stopped. You can just kind of go back over that, kind of like you would with paper. You can kind of just round it off a little as you go. All right, and then I like to kind of hold them up to each other and just kind of see if I got that, kind of, sort of. And remember, it's okay if it's not perfect. That's all right. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for uniqueness and character. So it's nice to kind of be able to make sure that they match a little, though. You don't want to have like real obvious pieces sticking out. So you might want to go back over it a little bit. Okay, so you should have something that looks like that. You've got your 2 pieces there. Okay, so I've got my stuff. Move that out of my way. Now, what you can do is decide on the face. I like to have all the pieces cut out first, and then we'll glue them. So let's decide what kind of a face we want. Do we want to do an emoji face, or do we want to do a little character face? I think today I'm going to do a character face. So we're going to start with the whites of his eyes. And for this, I'm going to freehand it with my marker. So I'm going to use my white here And I'm just gonna draw some circles. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cut them out. All right, so now you can see I've got my two little eyes there. I'm gonna put them on my face and see how I like them. There we go, looks pretty good. Good start. Now for the inside of my eyes, I am probably gonna wanna do some little pupils in there, and I'm thinking I'm gonna use this green color. So I'm gonna make a little bit smaller circles. Okay. So maybe something like that. And now I'm gonna cut these out. Okay, so now I've got my two little eyes there. Oh, it's coming along. Pretty cute. All right, now we need a mouth. So I think for that, I am gonna use this black. And for this one, I'm going to make a crescent shape. So a shape that kind of has a straight line and then kind of a half circle. So it's gonna look like a circle if you cut it in half. And the marker actually works pretty well on this. Because this already has a straight edge, I'm gonna use that and I'm just gonna turn it towards me and then I'm just gonna trace my kind of semicircle part for my mouth. And it's a little bit difficult, but you can kind of see that marker on the black. So you'll have to look really carefully, but that's the nice part of using the ink on the felt. It makes almost like a shiny reflection that you can follow. Okay, so I have kind of a mouth shape. Now if you get yours a little off like I did, you can just cut it a little bit more and just sort of round it out a bit. It doesn't have to be perfect though. All right, there's my mouth. It's pretty cute. And then I think I'm gonna do a little tongue inside. So for that, again, I'm gonna use this edge a little bit, and I'm just going to, actually this already has a curved piece, which is kind of perfect because that's what I need. So actually, I'm just gonna draw it. So we'll have it going, I'm gonna make a line like this, and then a line like this. That's gonna be for the tongue. I drew it big on purpose because I know I'm gonna have to probably cut that right there, okay? To round it off. So let's cut this. And I'm just gonna cut around this part. So it's like a W. Okay. So there we go. I've got my tongue piece cut out there. And I'm going to round that along the bottom just to kind of match. Just to kind of match a bit with the mouth. Okay? So that when we put it on, the W is going to be upside down and it'll go inside the mouth. Like that. Okay. And I want to kind of cut my corners a little because I feel like they're sticking out just a little bit. I'm just going to cut them off like that. And then we've got more of that rounded. There we go. All right, kind of perfect. And now I'm thinking I want to give them some hair, but I don't know. Or maybe I want to give her a crown. Maybe I want to give it a crown. So what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to use this straight edge. It's nice to use the straight edge when you can of the felt. And I'm going to cut a crown. I'm going to make one. Probably about, let's see. I probably am going to want it about this wide. I'll put a little mark right here so I remember that's about where I want it. I'm going to make it kind of tall. Okay, something kind of like that. So you should have something that looks kind of like that. I'll go ahead and cut this. Let's see how that looks. So now we've got our crown. Let's see if I like it. And I do. That looks kind of good, actually. Got our little prance here. Got a little prance. I'm gonna make that a little bit shorter. Okay. So I may actually want to cut it, maybe cut it here. Cut it a little bit tighter. You know, so it fits his head better. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. There we go. To make this a little bit stiffer, I'm thinking that we need two. So let's do another crown. And I'm going to use this one and this edge. And I'm just going to trace it. I'm going to turn it over to the side that I drew on. And I'm just going to loosely kind of trace that. Okay. Okay, and then same thing as before, you kind of want to check them against each other. Just to kind of be sure that they are indeed matching. I think I have it backwards actually, yeah. Okay, so let's see here. So you're going to line them up and then just check them. Okay, so my traced one is a little bit wide, so I'm just going to adjust that. And then other than that, looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that as is. All right. So now that we have our face and our crown, we are ready to glue. So we're going to move all this out of our way. Pull this bowl over. Now I've already plugged in my hot glue, so I'm ready to go there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting on my face. So I'm going to move all my little pieces off. And I'm going to glue them together and then glue them on my face. So first I'm going to take my hot glue, and I like to kind of squeeze it out a little. Get a little bit out, wipe it on the newspaper. That's another thing. If you're using hot glue, you always want to make sure you have something to protect the surface that you're working on. Okay? So let's see. First I'm going to take my little tongue, and I know I'm going to want it about here on my mouth, so I'm just going to put a little dab of glue. You don't need a lot. Set it on there, and then I'm just going to push. Okay? And the nice thing about hot glue is once you've once you've pushed, that's it. You know, now you've got it. It's on there. It's ready. Okay. So now we know this is the face, and I'm going to go ahead and just put some glue here. And you don't really need a lot. I would say maybe just 2 little lines. And then put your mouth along that kind of curvy edge if you can. And just get it right there. All right, so there we go. There's that. Now let's get our eyes on there. So we'll start with each eye individually first. I think I'm going to put a little dot of glue right there. Right in the kind of towards the middle of the eye. There. And let's get this one. Get your little dot in the middle. Little dot of glue. You really don't need a lot of the hot glue. All right, and now we're going to put on the eyes. So we'll get a dot on our face here. A nice little dab. And then we will put the first eye. And get another little dab. Oh, my gun is acting weird. Okay. And then we will get the next dab. Perfect. Now with hot glue, you're going to notice these little strings, and it's okay to just pull them, or if you want to wait until it dries, you can usually pull them, and they'll just come right off. No biggies. Okay, so we've got our face together, looking pretty good. All right, I'm going to wait for the crown until the very last. So let's do this part. Now, for your pencil topper, because you want to be able to get it on your pencil, you're going to glue all the way around the edge, but you're going to leave an opening at the bottom for your pencil to go in. So kind of where his tongue is, let that sort of be your guide, okay? And we're going to make sure the sparkly side is out. So I'm just going to line these up. And I'm going to put my face one down, okay? Or actually, if you want to do your face one up, that might be better, because then you can use your tongue as the guide. So line them up, make sure they're the way you want, and then what you're going to do is hold them. So with one hand, you're going to kind of lift, and you know you want your line to start by the edge of the tongue, so you're going to start it here, right by the edge of the tongue, right here. So you're going to lift it up, and you'll start your line of glue right here, and we're just going to put a line of glue. And for this, you don't need to squeeze very hard. You just need a small line of glue, like really small. It's okay if it just is sort of into the felt too, because it's very porous. It's going to grab, trust me. So we'll just do a little bit at a time. Maybe do about an inch at a time. Line it up and press. Okay. Once you've pressed that down, lift it up, and we're going to do another inch. Start in your crease there or in your seam. Bring your line out. Come around the edge. About an inch and stop. And then we're going to press. And we're just going to keep turning and pressing. Okay. Pull it again. Do about an inch. Gosh, this thing. And press. Okay, so far I'm not getting any glue on myself. Kind of a record, honestly. All right, I'm going to lift it up. Start again with the glue. Give it about an inch. Stop and press. Okay. Now, as we come into this last inch, remember you're only going to come to the edge of the tongue so that you have that opening for your pencil. Ooh, I just got myself. Well, there you go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually start at the edge of my tongue here and then come back to my seam. That way I'm sure I've got it opening. All right, and press. All right. Whew. Okay, and once again you might notice those little strings, so just go ahead and pull those off. Now for the crown, we've got our face all together, awesome! And we've got our little opening there for the pencil, right there. Okay, now for the crown, just want to make sure. I want to, what I want to do is put it on the front and the back to make it hold a little bit better. So I'm going to start with the front. Let me make sure I've got these going right. Okay, so the one that has writing, I definitely want to put that one towards the back. The one that has the. So what I'm going to do is just cut it a little bit so that the writing isn't going to show as much. It's okay if it's a little bit smaller. I just didn't want to have it real dark. Okay. So we will start then with this front one. And we're going to put just a line of glue across the top of his head. Again, don't need a lot. Ooh, okay. There we go. Flip it over. Line it up. Okay, so just kind of see where it needs to be, and then we'll put a dab of glue here across the top of his head as well, or the back of his head rather, top of the back of his head. Okay, and then just to kind of help it be a little bit stiffer, we're just going to put a little dot of glue at some of the points. Put a dot there, put a little dot there. Just a little tiny one, you don't need a lot. Little tiny dot, like just a tiny little bit. Like a little tiny raindrop. All right. And there he is. We've got our little prince. Pretty cool. Okay. Now I'm thinking that I want to put some jewels on it. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do them in blue. So I think I'm gonna put some diamonds on his crown. And I'm just gonna I'm not gonna make them really, really big, but I think I'm gonna do 2 of them. Maybe I'll do 3. We'll do 3 little diamonds on it. So to do that, it'll be relatively easy to just draw and cut some little shapes on your felt. Kind of triangle shapes, which make it a little bit easier to do. Okay. Okay. So there's one. There's 2. And there's 3. All right. I'm going to kind of look at these. So these ones came out a little bit bigger. I'm going to put them on the edge. I'll put the kind of skinnier one in the middle. Okay, so again, going with the hot glue, we're just going to put a little dot. And then I'm going to roll it over so that the non-marker side is the side that touches the glue. I'm going to get it on there. And then another little dot of glue. Give him some nice sapphires on his crown. Right? Because every good prince or princess crown definitely has some jewels. All right. And there I go, completely finished. Let's see if it works. I've got my pencil. The purple felt that I was working with was really stiff. So you might run into that with yours as well. Check it out! And I kind of like that stiffer felt for that reason, but all the felt will do a really good job. Pretty cool, you guys. What do you think? So you can do a lot of different things with this. I created this little critter one, and I used his hair. So for this, I did it kind of like the crown, except I just kind of drew the hair. Right? And then I also used yellow and created a little emoji one. So you can do emoji shapes. You can see on my pencil I have a couple different little emoji faces. And you could try making some of those, just cutting out, little black ones. You can do white with the teeth and the 2 little eyes to make that kind of like, ooh, face. Kind of funny. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This has really been a blast. I love making crafts with you guys, and I am so excited now. Putting it back on here. I am so excited now to show off my awesome pencil topper. I think the staff is going to be jealous of this, honestly. Probably going to get asked to make one for everybody. All right, you guys, if you make one, please post in the comments below. I love seeing them. You guys always do amazing crafts. You always have great ideas. You always kind of take my ideas and come up with something uniquely your own. So I absolutely love to see that. Please post or take a picture and post it for me, because like I said, I would love to see it. Whether you make this one, whether you make another one, whatever you make. You can do animals. You can do all kinds of fun things with this. All right? So I look forward to to seeing your pencil topper, and I hope that kind of lifts your spirits a little bit about going back to school, because school is cool, right? You learn lots of new things. So have a good school year, everybody, and I will see you again next time for another fun craft. Bye!